Thank you, the MC. Before going to my speech, I just want to join the Executive Secretary in telling us that the essence of coming here at this point in time, we are here for a serious business. And our own major aim is that through this means, we'll be able to actually try to exchange ideas and have a cross-pollination of, yes, as in what you do in your society, you want to avail others to be able to have access to it. And because of that, he said we should look at our seating arrangements very well. And as we continue to look at it, some of us are still about 3, 4, 5 people coming from the same society, sitting together. I'm addressing you as #1 cooperator in Nigeria at this point in time. Yes, you want to take a clue from me. If I decided to leave my wife there, seated, just for her to be able to at least interact with people. And you see the chairman house committee, the chairman house committee on housing, and the permanent secretary sandwiching me, sitting in between them. You know that we are trying to at least, yes, to network. Therefore, I want to seriously appeal to us that is one of the reasons of being here. Apart from all these indoor games and the rest, God will be with us. The chairman, sir, House Committee on Housing, Lagos State House of Assembly, Honorable Adebisi Yusuf. We thank you most sincerely for your presence here today and the honor done us. We visited just only once, and immediately I got to his office with the cooperator, the only cooperator in Lagos State. He accepted to be here with us, despite his tight schedule. We are grateful, sir. Incidentally, he was a friend of my late brother. And immediately I entered into the office, even though I've never had any personal relationship with him before then. He said he was seeing through me Oriyomi Ayeola standing, and we appreciate that. Thank you very much, sir. The permanent secretary, Dr. Mrs. Bolajoko Sherifat Balogun. You are welcome to our meeting. We appreciate you. The permanent secretary has been here for more than 2 hours. In fact, when I was called that the permanent secretary is already at the front office, I shouted that all the way from a far place to this place. But because the PS is time conscious, he has been here. And because of the respect he has for us, once again I say thank you very much, ma'am. The Director of Cooperative Services, Lagos State Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Cooperative, Mrs. Ibrahim Oluwafunmilayo, thank you very much for being here with us. She doesn't have any... In fact, it's our responsibility to be here with us. And she's here, we thank you. And of course, through her, to all other government officials here seated, we thank you most sincerely for your support, and we'll continue to be grateful for all you have been doing for us now. The MD, Cooperative Mortgage Bank, Mr. Abdikabir Tuko, we thank you for being here, and we thank you for being part of our system, our movement, despite the fact that you are co-opted into the system. You have even been actually playing the role that is expected of the president himself. We thank you most sincerely, sir. The MD, CEO, Family Homes Funds, Mr. Femi Adewale, We thank you all the way from Abuja. We thank you. We are most grateful. The first time I visited him in the office at Abuja, in fact, when I was looking at even the building, starting from the building, and when we got in, through to his office, I felt that, okay, this type of office, an ordinary corporate also can just come in like that. But we met him at his door, receiving us. We thank you. The God Almighty will continue to be there for you. My leaders and elders, we thank you. You have always been with us. And the only prayer I will pray is that the God Almighty will continue to give you good health. Amen. And of course, you live long to reap the fruit of your labor. Amen. Chief Michael Bamidele Odusi, and through him to all other leaders seated, Alhaji Auton, Alhaji Sanusi, Baba Oge, and the rest from Abeokuta, we thank you. Our elders, we thank you most sincerely. Chief Okeshola, thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you. We started together as board members of Lagos State Cooperative Federation, and since then you have been with us. We thank you most sincerely, sir. Thank you and God bless. Members of the President in Council, Barrister Shobule, the Vice President of Lagos State Cooperative Federation, and the Chairman of Education Committee, who is actually in charge of this program, and through him to all other members of the Council, the President in Council, we thank you most sincerely. The God Almighty will be there for you. The President of Lagos State Finance and Investment Society Limited, my brother, Engineer Stanley Da Silva, thank you very much. And through him, to all other members of the board, Lagos State Cooperative Federation, the Executive Secretary, President of Primary Societies here seated, the executive members of unions, executive members of Primary Society, their cooperative, Lagos cooperators, members of the press, and of course, my darling wife, Fatimat Oriyomi Ayeola. I thank you most sincerely for being part of my life. The God Almighty will continue to bless you. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm grateful to God Almighty who has spared our lives and granted us the privilege to witness this event, which is the grand finale of all major cooperative activities in Lagos State for the year 2019. Before I proceed, I crave your indulgence to observe a minute silence for the cooperative leaders we lost to the cold hands of death and the cause of outgoing year. You please stand up for that. May their soul rest in perfect peace. We can take our seats, please. Pastor Ayeola, who was on his death the Vice President of Lagos State Cooperative Federation and the President of Ikeja Multipurpose Cooperative Union, and of course, Mr. Bashir Usman, the Vice President of Lagos State Cooperative Finance and Investment Society. We lost them during the year. And these two leaders, they were very, very active in our midst. But of course, we loved them, but God Almighty loved them more than we do. They left us, and we thank all of you for being there with us. We thank you that it was these two leaders. Usman came first. Usman, despite the fact that then he was, before his death, he was actually the president of Ministry of Defense before coming to LASCOFED. But as a president of Ministry of Defense, he has been highly supportive to Lagos State Cooperative Federation. I want to place on record that it was in an occasion of this type, and especially in this hotel, we had a retreat like this, and so active, and it was even the one that stood up. It made the suggestion that we are talking of a befitting secretariat, and we are talking of our number too, more than 2 million cooperators in Lagos State. Can't we just, as individual, contribute to 1,000 naira? Then we now look at 1,000 naira times 2 million. We say, that will be too much. After extensive discussion, we agreed for just only 200 naira. And he suggested that we use that money to be part of the money that we use for the construction of our secretariat. And that was the beginning. I'm only trying to tell you his importance among us. The society was one of the first societies that actually paid that money, because we decided here then that society should pay on their members. And before coming to LASCOFED as a vice president, very, very active. And he was not even sick. He left home and he collapsed and died. And that is just life. We pray the God Almighty will forgive him his sin. Pastor Ayeola also was my vice president. He was here with us last year on this occasion. And just little brief illness, I was just called that Pastor Ayeola gone. And there is nothing anyone can do when it comes to that than to continue to pray. And of course, to show our own concern and solidarity with the family. And on this note, I want to appreciate all the individuals, cooperators, societies who actually identified with us and identified with the family at that point in time. I'm happy to welcome you all to this historic occasion, 2019 LASCOFED Cooperative Leaders Conference. It is indeed historic for me, as it is the 8th edition. I have the privilege to preside over as the president of Lagos State Cooperative Federation. And of course, most likely the last one as the president, as I will be stepping down as the president of Lagos State Cooperative Federation by July 2020, God willing. 8 years sojourn as president of LASCOFED has been eventful, impactful, and educative. During the 8 years, we particularly used this annual conference to navigate emerging trends in corporate and business world, to rejig and expand cooperative operations in Lagos State. Distinguished cooperative leaders, since we came on board in 2012, the Lagos State Cooperative Federation Cooperative Leaders Conference, hitherto referred to as the Cooperative Leaders Retreat, has been an incubator for many cooperative ideas and innovations. The ideas metamorphosed into projects used to grow and develop Lagos State cooperative movements. The completion of LASCOFED Office Complex and Multipurpose Hall is a good reference of the productive ideas which usually emanate from this conference. Also, at one of our annual conferences, we launched cooperative insurance scheme with the support of Lagos State government through the Directorate of Cooperative Services and our supervisory ministry. The scheme provides insurance cover for cooperators and cooperatives operations. The insurance cover helps cooperative societies to mitigate risk associated with loan defaults as a result of incapacitation, loss of job, and debts. Presently, the insurance cover is being handled by a consortium of insurance company led by LASCOFED Assurance PLC. I think the MD of LASCOFED is around, yet to come. Okay. Oh, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. LASCOFED Assurance is one of our partners, and of course, they are the one leading the other insurance companies to mitigate losses in Cooperative in Lagos State. The theme for this year's conference is Consolidating Cooperative Frontiers for Productivity. Consolidating Cooperative Frontiers as a team is aimed at identifying areas where we can improve the operations of cooperatives economically and socially, while also thinking of diversification. Today, we have in our midst Honorable Bisi Yusuf, the Chairman of the Chairman House Committee on Housing, Lagos State House of Assembly, who is our keynote address speaker. Of course, just as I've said from the beginning, he graciously accepted to be here with us to share his own ideas on the issue of housing. We have all agreed, after identifying that housing is a big challenge in Nigeria and of course in Lagos State. Therefore, deliberately we have brought people that actually matter most in housing sector of Lagos State and Nigeria to this conference, so that of course we as cooperators and cooperative leaders, we want to take advantage of that. I had the privilege to have discussions separately with the chairman and of course with the MD CEO of Family Homes Funds, and of course the Cooperative Mortgage Bank. And for us to have the three of them here in our midst is a big privilege for us. And I want to, of course, advise cooperative leaders, you want to take advantage of this privilege to better the life of our members. The Chairman House Committee on Housing is here. Just one, we actually identified the fact that one of the major problems we have in housing in Lagos State is land. Now, of course, by land mass, Lagos State is having the smallest, more or less, in Nigeria. Therefore, getting land in Lagos State is not that easy. After using the funds of cooperative to acquire lands from the Moniles, definitely will need CFO or consent from government. And this has been a major problem for us in the cooperative sector of Lagos State. Therefore, you want to use your good offices to assist us in this area, sir. And of course, it will not be out of place. Yes, it will not be bothering you much, but it will not be out of place even after living here. You want to see one or two of us as leaders in your office on this type of thing. Even Lagos State Cooperative Federation is even having a 20 acre of land in Ekpe. And for several years, we have been trying to get the CFO. I think as from now, sir, you want to be of our assistance, so that as early as possible, we'll be able to get this title document on that land. On housing, cooperative movement is willing to partner and assist government to bridge the housing gap by investing in affordable housing for our members. To this end, LASCOFED, through Cooperative Federation of Nigeria, has reached an understanding with Cooperative Mortgage Bank and Family Homes Funds to provide cooperative with necessary technical and financial support that will assist us to meet the needs for decent homes through the creation of mortgage. Many cooperative societies are, however, faced with the problem of obtaining title documents for their land they acquired on behalf of the members. We implore you, sir, to use your good offices to assist us in procurement of the certificate of occupancy